Which machine learning conference should you attend? Well, there are 5 reasons you've just got to go to Machine Learning Week, June 19 to 24 at Caesars Palace in Vegas. Welcome to the Dr. Data Show. I'm Eric Siegel, and in this special episode, rather than the usual conceptual coverage of machine learning, I'm going to pitch you on the Machine Learning Conference series that I founded in 2009. It's the leading cross-vendor, cross-industry event covering the commercial deployment of machine learning and predictive analytics. I'll show you why it's the most valuable machine learning event to attend this year, and I'll list the 5 reasons you gotta go. The Vegas event this June brings together 6 cross-industry machine learning conferences, 5 Predictive Analytics World Conferences, and the sister event, Deep Learning World. And you can check out all the details at machinelearningweek.com. Also, during the same week, June 20 to 21st, we're holding 3 conferences co-located together in Munich, Germany. Predictive Analytics World for Industry 4.0, Predictive Analytics World for Healthcare, and the Deep Learning World of Germany. Now, one website that links all these international conferences is predictiveanalyticsworld.com. So you can go there and access any of the events as a singular starting place. But in this podcast episode, I'm going to focus here on Machine Learning Week, the 6th event a week taking place in Vegas. So, okay, we're returning to in-person events, and I can't tell you how excited I am for our return to in-person this June. You know, there's nothing like in-person conferences. It's just a qualitatively different level of engagement for everything you go to a conference for. You know, the learning, the exchange of ideas, networking, getting inspired, getting out of your usual routine, the stuff for which we travel to events. So the conferences co-located in Vegas this June are Predictive Analytics World Conferences, where predictive analytics is basically a synonym for machine learning, or perhaps a major subset pertaining to the business application of machine learning, and Deep Learning World, a sister event. So to be specific, there's Predictive Analytics World for Business, that's PAW Business, PAW Financial, PAW Industry 4.0, and PAW Healthcare, as well as the sister conference, Deep Learning World. So those 5 events are together in Vegas, and then earlier, and part of the cross-registration options, is PAW Climate, Predictive Analytics World for Climate Technology, which live streams 3 weeks earlier. That one's on June 1st and 2nd. So the 5 in-person conferences run simultaneously alongside one another at Caesars Palace in Vegas. That week there are 2 main conference days, which are Tuesday, Wednesday, plus there's a diverse range of full-day training workshops that take place in the days before and after that main Tuesday, Wednesday, 2-day conference days of sessions. So the conference delivers brand name, cross-industry, vendor-neutral case studies purely on machine learning deployment and the hottest topics and techniques. This is a multi-conference event and covers all the bases for both senior-level expert practitioners, people really on the technical side, as well as newcomers, project leaders, and executives. So depending on the topic, sessions and workshops are either demarcated at the expert practitioner level, and you see those as red diamonds on the program, or for all audiences, those are shown as blue circles. So you can bring colleagues who aren't necessarily on so much the technical side, aren't necessarily hands-on practitioner, members of your team, your supervisor, even line of business managers you work with on model deployment. So about 60 to 70% of attendees are really on the more technical hands-on practitioner side, but as we all know, successful machine learning deployment requires deep collaboration between both sides. So we bring those together. So fine, let's cover the promised list. Here are the 5 reasons you got to go to Machine Learning Week in Vegas this June. Number 1, you'll access brand name case studies. So during the sessions, you hear directly from the horse's mouth precisely how Fortune 500 and analytics competitors and other companies of interest deploy machine learning and the kinds of business results they achieve. So much more than most of events, we pack the agenda as densely as possible with named case studies. Each day features a ton of leading in-house expert practitioners who get things done in the trenches at those kinds of enterprises and come to PAW to, spill the beans, spill on the inside scoop. The majority of the program focuses on these brands of companies that, those that benefit from machine learning rather than the companies that sell machine learning, although vendors also play a role as well. And I'll get to that. So for one thing, a smaller but key portion of the program features rock star consultants, right, who often present on work they've done for one of their notable clients. Reason number 2, you benefit from cross-industry coverage. So by bringing together these 6 industry-focused conferences all together at once, fosters unique cross-industry sharing, and it achieves a certain critical mass in expertise about methods that apply across industries. So if your work actually spans industries, Machine Learning Week's like one-stop shopping. Not to mention that convening the key machine learning figures from across sectors greatly expands the networking potential of participating and attending the event. So of these 5 cross-industry events taking place in person in Vegas, the largest and most general component conference is PAW Business. So it covers a great expanse of business application areas across multiple industries, including marketing and sales applications and many other applications in retail, telecommunications, e-commerce, nonprofits, et cetera, et cetera. So PAW Business alone has 3 tracks, and let me just list them in reverse order. Track 3 covers sessions covering case studies, so cross-industry business applications of machine learning. Track 2 is on the technology side, advanced machine learning methods and ML ops. So that's really the tech side. And then very much complementing that, track 1 is the business side track. So analytics operationalization, which is another way of saying deployment, right? Implementation, getting it where the rubber hits the road, getting your models out there. So we titled that track Analytics Operationalization and Leadership. That is the business side, making this stuff work, running the projects the right way so that you don't just produce models that end up collecting dust. They actually get deployed. And that track, that business side track, is really quite unique to predictive analytics world. Other machine learning conferences focus almost exclusively on the technical side without giving nearly as much attention to the much underserved business side of machine learning. In that way, PAW, Predictive Analytics World, covers both sides, extending beyond the technical side to also cover the necessary business side aspect of successful machine learning deployment. That often unmet requirement, not fulfilling it, is why so many machine learning projects fail to achieve deployment. That's a major theme, if you've been listening, of this overall podcast that we've done several episodes of so far. And so we really undertook making that a priority and a focus, devoting an entire 2-day track 1 of PAW Business to that topic. In PAW Business, you'll witness case studies and stories from the likes of Walmart, Apple, Twitter, Cisco, Uber, NVIDIA, and many, many more. Okay, the second of these 5 in-person conferences, PAW Financial, Predictive Analytics World for Financial Services, covers machine learning applications in banking, including credit scoring, insurance applications, fraud detection, algorithmic trading, innovative approaches to risk management, and more. Speakers this June 2022 include Safety National, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Deloitte, and Pinnacle Actuarial. And we have Predictive Analytics World for Industry 4.0, for healthcare, and the online conference PAW Climate. And these are all really worlds unto themselves. There's so many topic areas and application areas covered in these events. So you can check out the detailed agendas for each of these 5 conferences start at machinelearningweek.com and go to the individual conference. You can see the agenda. There's also a full-blown 7-track agenda that you can look at all on one page. And then, of course, I don't want to leave out the 5th conference taking place in person in Vegas, which is the sister conference, Deep Learning World. It has its own website, deeplearningworld.com. Deep learning is the hottest advanced form of machine learning with astonishing proven value for large signal input problems such as image classification for self-driving cars, medical image processing, speech recognition. So these kinds of applications are fairly distinct domains. So in that way, Deep Learning World, although it's not strictly speaking a vertical focused, it's not defined by a vertical like the other 5 Predictive Analytics World Conferences, it still does well to complement application areas because those are pretty distinct kind of application areas that tend to be the place where you apply deep learning. So you can see that there's cross-registration. People, for all these different reasons, people register for multiple conferences or only for one. So, for example, if you're in financial services, a lot of PAW Business applies there just as well if you're doing marketing or website optimization and this kind of stuff. Some people apply, register for all 5 conferences or all 6. Okay, reason number 3 out of 5 that you got to go to Machine Learning Week is you get pure play machine learning content. So the agenda of these conferences isn't watered down with a lot of coverage of other kinds of analytics or data science. It's ruthlessly focused specifically on the commercial application of machine learning. The conference doesn't cover like data science as a whole, which is much broader and less well-defined subjective area that, for example, can include standard business intelligence reporting and that kind of thing. We don't, we really keep it on predictive modeling for almost the entire conference, unless there's some other advanced method. Every once in a while, we'll augment it. And we don't take on, quote, artificial intelligence per se, except in as much as that's really simply a synonym in many cases for machine learning. Outside of that use of the term AI, it tends to at least overhype, if not convey outright false mythological capabilities and hype. So you'll see the term tossed around, but we're not focusing too much on that, on whatever people might mean by AI. If they're not just simply referring to machine learning. Reason number 4 out of 5 is that you'll learn the latest and greatest, the hottest new machine learning practices, the cutting edge. So we held the first Predictive Analytics World 13 years ago, and so far have delivered value to over 17,000 attendees across more than 60 international conferences. To this day, though, Predictive Analytics World remains the leading commercial event because we keep up with the most valuable trends. For example, Deep Learning World, which launched more recently, 2018, covers deep learning's commercial deployment across industry sectors. This relatively new form of neural networks has blossomed both in buzz and actual value. As I mentioned, it scales machine learning to process, for example, complex image data. And what had been PAW Manufacturing for some years is now named Predictive Analytics World for Industry 4.0. And as such, the event now covers a broader area of interrelated work, applying machine learning for smart manufacturing, Internet of Things, predictive maintenance, logistics, fault prediction, and a lot more. So in general, machine learning continues to widen its adaptation and apply in new innovative ways across sectors in marketing, financial risk, fraud detection, workforce optimization, and healthcare. PAW keeps up with these trends and covers today's best practices and the latest advanced modeling methods. And finally, number 5, and the 5 reasons you've got to come to Machine Learning Week, you'll access vendor-neutral content. So the conference and the overall event of 5 or 6 conferences isn't run by an analytics vendor, and the speakers aren't trying to sell you on anything but good ideas. Machine Learning Week speakers understand that vendor neutral means those in attendance must be able to implement the practices covered and benefit from the insights delivered without buying any particular analytics product. During the event, some vendors are permitted to deliver short presentations during a limited minority of demarcated sponsored sessions. Although actually these sessions not only bring to light the latest software solutions, they also end up being bring substantive content as well. So the audience does find them of great interest as well. And you can access all the sponsors, tap into their expertise at will on the exhibit hall where they're set up just for that purpose. And by the way, if you're an analytics vendor yourself, check out Predictive Analytics World various sponsorship opportunities. Our event brings together a great crowd of practitioners and decision makers. And that's it. Those are the reasons you got to come to Machine Learning Week. Number 1, brand name case studies. Number 2, cross-industry coverage. Number 3, pure play machine learning content. Number 4, the hottest new machine learning practices. And number 5, vendor neutral content. So Machine Learning Week Vegas, it not only delivers unique knowledge gaining opportunities, it's also a universal meeting place, the industry's premier networking event. It brings together the who's who of machine learning and predictive analytics, the greatest diversity of expert speakers, perspectives, experience, viewpoints, and case studies. And this all turns the normal conference stuff into a much richer experience, including the keynotes, expert panels, workshop days, as well as opportunities to network and talk shop during the lunches, coffee breaks, reception, and all of this. So I encourage you to check out the detailed agendas. If I'm pitching you a conference, the product we're selling you is that lineup of speakers, those 7 tracks or 1 or 3 tracks, depending on which subset of these conferences you may register for. You can look at those different views of the agenda at machinelearningweek.com and see all the speakers, case studies, advanced methods covered. Each of the 6 conferences has its own webpage, as I've mentioned. And there's that page where you can see all 7 tracks at once. So the reason it's 7 tracks is because you've got 3 for PAW Business and then 4 other conferences, the vertical focus predictive analytics worlds and then deep learning world. And then separate from that is the online event happening earlier in June, PAW Climate. So to see all these details, register, sign up for informative event updates by email, go to machinelearningweek.com. Also, by the way, if you'd like to see the history of these conferences, which ranges from spawning the Target predicting pregnancy publicity debacle, and yes, that stemmed from a presentation from Target at Predictive Analytics World, we got dinged as a conference by Hollywood action movie star Chuck Norris. So there's been all sorts of notable occurrences. So I'm going to link to an article that covers all the sort of bullet list of history items since we launched the conference in 2009. I'll link that from the episode description. And to learn more about the field of machine learning in general, check out our predictive analytics guide at predictiveanalyticsworld.com/guide. And you can also check out our publication, The Machine Learning Times, which is a premier resource and a news website with monthly emails you can sign up for at machinelearningtimes.com, and also includes revealing interviews that we are conducting and already starting to publish with the speakers for this June's conference. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in and hope to see you there.